Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Quantum Leap Futures Morning Leap session. This is our pre-market trade plan setup where we take a look at the market from a macro to micro view and then drill down to the structure and where we want to set up our trade levels, our targets for the day, and our hypothesis. If you're interested in finding out more information about us, give me an email at quantumleapfutures@gmail.com. or give me a call 647-545-8065. This is not a commercial venture. This is a private group of retail traders, what we call a self-organized learning environment. If you want to see more videos like this, do a search on YouTube for Quantum Leap Futures, and please follow me on Twitter at Crazy2. Okay, before we get started, let's just jump into the disclaimer. This information is for the purpose of educating members who want to expand the knowledge of the business of trading. It's not for trading or investment advice. You are responsible for the trades or investment decisions to make. Trading futures or any instrument involves risk loss. Please consider carefully whether futures or options are appropriate to financial situation. Only risk capital should be used when trading futures or options. Investors can lose more than initial investment. Nobody at Quantum Leap is a certified trading advisor. We are retail traders operating within a self-organized learning environment. Past performance is not indicative of future results, and any trades that you see in Quantum Leap are for education purposes only. Please trade your own due diligence, your own trade plan, and your own risk metrics. Okay, let's take a look at the news. This morning we had manufacturing sales and foreign security purchases. Very good manufacturing sales. Expected 1.1, got 1.17 in Canada. And look at the difference in our foreign security purchases. Well, you know why that is, because of the dollar. And then in U.S., we had CPI month over month, expected 0, came out slightly less at minus 0.1%. And then core CPI month over month came out as expected. On 10 o'clock, we have NAHB housing market index and crude inventories. And then at 1:20, we have Canadian Governor Counsel Coty speaking. Not a lot of news now going into the rest of the day. We're going into Fed tomorrow, FOMC. Everybody anticipates that this is going to be the fireworks. We've got quad witching going on this week, and it's, to me, I think it's going to be a rotational day today with a little bit of upside bias, if any. Possibly even an inside day. So let's start with what I like to do each morning and just go through the macro to the micro in terms of the trend. I use a basic candlestick chart with a 9 EMA, 20 SMA, looking for slope and separation and whether or not we've been challenged on those trends. Right now you can see on the month we've closed below the 9 and the 20. Last month we're continuing to trade below the 9 and the 20. This month the trend is being challenged right now, so the trend is basically halted to the upside for the moment. That doesn't mean that we can't pop up and continue. Right now it is being challenged. On the weekly, we rolled over. We've got slope and separation to the downside, but we do have this reversal pattern. We have not come up and closed the technical gap on the weekly yet. So we've got a couple inside bars here possibly. We had the foo bar with the tech gap, Mr. Sneaky. So this weekly still has to be closed to the upside, but it doesn't mean that it can't come up here to the 9 EMA and then reject it like it did on the daily. If you take a look at the daily, we came up, we had the foo bar, Mr. Sneaky, tech gap, closed the tech gap, rejected it and went down, but now we're going sideways and consolidating. Now we do have a close yesterday, the first close above the 9 and the 20. We've got a naked cross right now down here on the daily at 1953.75. Just writing it in my journal. So the trend has been halted at this point in time and is being challenged with close above the 9 and the 20. Going down to the intraday to see if there's any trends coming into this market. You can see on the intraday we do have an upside slope and separation, looking for a possible start of an upward trend after this consolidation. We popped up, had a Mr. Sneaky, a little bit of a tech gap here. So far they're closing the tech gap by time. Tech gaps can be closed by time or by price or a combination of both. So far on the 4 hour, it's just going sideways and consolidating. Actually, maybe even possible flagpole formation, but the flag's pretty messy right there. Going to the 1 hour, you can see again you had the tech gap foobar, Mr. Sneaky closed the tech gap, went sideways. Right now they're holding the 9 and the 20, so the trend, upward trend, is being challenged and weakened, but it's holding so far, and it could have continuation. Going down to the 15-minute, we've got sideways consolidation right now, no real trend on the 15. And then on the 5, we had an upward trend. They rolled over, and now we're basically consolidating, but we are trading below the 9 and the 20, but we do not have much slope or separation. So really consolidation coming into this market. All right, taking a look at the structure of the market. We have popped up back into what was the let me just bring this to the front because this has just changed slightly. I want to point this out. Yesterday, our microcomposite VPOC was here at 61.75. This is the VPOC, the profile, the microcomposite profile that goes from the significant breakout candle until today. And the most traded price, or the MCVPOC, has shifted now to 1970, right around this 70.25 CHVN. So we actually shifted up. It was, when we came into yesterday, at the 71.75 area, and it's now popped up. The 5-day, which I'm sorry, now it's the 6-day microcomposite VPOC. It shifted from 40 yesterday up to 43, and then they moved, and they came up into this 1970. Got a little bit more movement to the upside. We were looking for that 61. We were actually, yesterday, our hypothesis was a rotational day between the 61.75 and the 1943 area. And late in the day, we got that late rally up into the 69.75, and then we made the high there at 73. The value area high doesn't change. It's still at 76.75, so that will continue to be our key line in the sand. Right now we're trading 66. Just below it we have a CLVN at 65.25, and then our value area high for the 6-day microcomposite is at 57, and our value area low is down here at 28. I'm expecting that we're probably going to chop around in this area between 48.75 and the 75.76 area. If we get above 76.75, we could pop up into that 85 area, possibly even the 95, and of course the big number above us right now is that 99.25. That's the 61.8 retracement from this whole move down, and also the measured move on that inverted head and shoulders that we've been following. So let's go take a look at our overnight. Overnight, believe it or not, holy cow, we had a 10-point overnight move so far. This is probably the smallest overnight session that we've seen in a while. Pretty normal for a Globex session. Our overnight low is down at 62.75. Our overnight high at 72.75. And I don't think our Globex VPOC is going to change. It's at 68.50. We could, if we pop back up into the 70s, it could shift up to the 70, but I don't think that's going to happen. 68.50, which is basically right here. So when we look at what happened yesterday, we held above value. We came down and tested that 43 area. Remember, the 43 was the microcomposite VPOC. got the shift, and then we rejected value and rotated up, and we've been slowly moving up. We came up, consolidated in around the 60 area, the 6175, which was the former microcomposite VPOC, and that CHVN at 60. Accepted value there, and then they moved it up into that 69. Remember, we were talking about that 69.50 and the CHVN at 70, and then basically everything shifted up here. Since overnight, okay, we've held inside of this upper distribution. What does that tell us? That tells us that we're trying to hold value higher now, and so far, the buyers and sellers have accepted this value up here, okay, and we're staying inside of this distribution. If one side, runs out of inventory, we'll likely have to come down to pick up buyers, and that I'd be looking for a destination down here into the 1960, 1959 area. But if inventory runs out and we need sellers, then we've got to come up and try to test and go into price discovery, above the 73. So very interesting situation, especially considering the fact that we are coming into the Fed tomorrow. And I'm expecting we're probably, either going to end up, finding balance around the 67 or come down into the 60 area coming into the Fed. Possibly even come all the way back down here into the 43 area. But I think the fact that they've made the move yesterday and we're holding value overnight, we're likely to see us hold this value, if not come down to the 60 area and hold that value, or continue our price discovery up and then come back into value. But anybody can, nobody knows what for sure. All we know is that we've got a good Gaussian distribution here overnight, tight range, holding value right at the VPOC, which was stolen into the close, okay, with the shift of the VPOC into the last 20 minutes of the session. So what can we expect? Well, we're going to open up inside a range, inside a value at the most accepted price. So I'm expecting chop on the open if we hold inside this area. The naked close rate here is the 1969.75. We've got the CHVN and the microcosm VPOC right there as well. Our VPOC, naked VPOC is 68.50. I do not think that that's going to hold. We'll probably come down here and challenge this CLVN and LVN at the 65.25 and 64.50. So I'm going to use this as a trade area. To get short, I got to be below 64. To take the long, I got to be above the 65.25 CLVN. If we break below that, look for them to take out the overnight low and then to come down back into this 1960 area. Back into possibly I'm going to use 60, but 59 was where the VPOC was most of the day yesterday before it got stolen in the close. So I'm going to target 60. But I have to be weary of this little LVN. We got this little distribution zone right here in between the upper and the lower distribution. I have to be wary of this area, especially with the VWAP right here. So, this is not the weak high. Sorry, again, my labeling system is whacked. And I can't type. So I have to be careful. I'm going to get short if we get below 64.50, targeting taking out the overnight low. with continuation down to the 1960, 1959. But I'm going to watch in between the 62 and a quarter and 61 and a quarter as possible areas where we could find responsive buyers. So I'm going to put a trade zone in there, but I'm not going to trade off of it. I just want to be aware that we could bounce from there. And I'm not going to try to make a trade inside of these two areas. I'm going to get short below here or long above here. And I'm going to stay short and see how they react to here. And I'd be looking for more of a continuation rather than a rejection. But we got to be aware where the inflection points could be and where buyers could react. Once we're down in this lower distribution, then I'm looking for a 80% destination trade down to the value area low here at 57. And below 57, you got the 55. So if we've got this thin area down here, which we could travel through very quickly, but the first target I'm going to target is this 55. Now you know that the 57 is the value area high of the microcomposite, and is just below the value area low. So I'm going to use 55, and I'm going to move this down so it incorporates down to 57. I don't want to get short until I'm below 57 inside of this value, targeting 55 as my first target. And then below 55, there's a little bit of support here at the 48.75, which is basically where our open was yesterday. And I think we could travel through here pretty quickly. There's really not much to hold us up. And then just below that, anything below the 48.75, it's kind of going to be a key line for us today for price discovery lower. So I'm going to edit this, and I'm going to use this as a key line. Because I think if we get below the 48.75, we're out of this more defined distribution. We're inside of the value area, and we're going to get the move down into the 40. But I don't think 40 is going to be it. I think we're going to come all the way back down here. Sorry, 43. I don't think 43 is going to be it. I think it's going to be a move down into the 40 area to test this CLVN. So there are targets at 43. Main target below 48.75 is going to be this 40.50, and then below that, I'm going to use the 1939.75. Remember that number we were using before? I'm going to use that as a trade area, because if we don't if we don't bounce off of this 40.50, then I think we're going to come down into this lower distribution where we've got all this undetermined fair value, and we're finally going to come down and make that move into that 21-23 area, which is still a lot of targets down here. So below the 40, I'm going to be targeting the 35.50, but we've got the range. It's the range low from Monday. I'm going to use the 36.50 as a target, but really I'm looking for the 35 area, and then 28.50. Between 28.50 and 29.50 is going to be my next trade area. Well, it's there already. And I'm just going to incorporate it so it goes and encompasses the 28.50 as well, because I want to make sure that we're below the microcomposite value area, and then everything stays the same below here. Target 25, 23, 21.75, this whole area here. So a little bit of support here at the 17.50 area, and then below that it's all about 12. And then the key line in the sand shifted from 06 and a quarter to 07.25 as the microcomposite value area, and then below there we've got all our targets, and I don't think we're going to get much lower. To the upside, if we open up and we chop around, we come down, we hold the 64, even possibly take out the 61.50, or is it 60, sorry, overnight low is 62.75. Sorry, I've got to fix my my pricing system. Even if we come down and we bounce off of the 60 area and come up through here, then I'd be looking for them to go and take out the naked close at 69.75 and come up here and challenge the range high, the overnight high, the value area high. This is going to be a key level for us to hold. And above 73, then I'm looking for a quick move up into the 75, 50, 76, 75 area to test the value area high of this whole, balance area that we've been gapping around all this time. And above there, really not much to hold us down. We've got the naked close at 79.50. There is nothing up here until you get up to 85.75. Up here, I wouldn't even be looking for a spot to try to short this. Okay, stay long and strong and work your stops, but don't try to short up here until you really get up here to the 95. And I really think if we get into this area, it's pretty thin. It's pretty thin up here. I think we're going to we're going to make a big, strong move up into that 99 and test the 2000s. In the 2000s, you've got 0250. 0475. Gotta fix this. And then the 09 area, and then the main target above, which is the 1150, and then the 1550. And then we start dealing with some of our upside targets. 21. 24.75. 26.50. These are former prior all-time highs that in the RTH in the full session, which we've got memory. And then 27.50 will possibly bring us some resistance. And then anything above 27.50, I think we're going to make a bigger move up into, sorry, these are not former all-time highs. I keep forgetting we've come down over 100 points. I keep thinking of the 2100s. Forgive me. And of course, the big one up here is going to be the 2055. That is the year open up here. But again, I'm just starting to point them out so they come into our thought patterns again. But I really don't think we're going to get there today. I think that we're going to chop around. We don't hold the 60 area. Then we come down and test the 43 area. But if we hold the 60 area, we chop with a push up to the range high and the overnight high and possible price discovery up to 76, maybe 79.50. From above that, you never know what's going to happen. We're back into price discovery. We could get to 99.25 today. We don't know. Let's take a look at the Keltner for a quick minute. We're trading right now above the Keltner center line at 67.75. Our upper Keltner line will take us to test the overnight high and possibly come up. By the time we get up here, we'll probably see it up at the 75 level, that CLVN, and just below the key line in the sand above. Below the 67, it shows a move down to the 61.25, so probably even be that 1960 area. Taking a look at gold, gold's found some support here so far. Come on. we're up trading and testing this 13 area, the microcomposite value area high, like we were talking about yesterday. And if we break it, then I'd be looking for a move up into the 1116.50, 1118 area. If we don't break it, then I'd be looking for a move back into the balance again in around the 1105, 1106 area. Key line is still going to be the 1100. And if we don't hold that 1100, I moved down to test the 97.70, 95.30, but my big target is still down here at the 91.40. But it looks like we're finding some support on gold so far overnight. We had some weakness come in yesterday, but we held that 1100 again. And as long as we hold that 1100, then I think we're going to slowly start working our way back. And again, my target on gold is still way up here at the 1200. Don't think we're going to get there this year, but you never know. But I think we're going to find some support in gold and just work our way up. If we break 1100, we may have to come down further. But until we break this 1091.40, I'm still long on gold in terms of my hypothesis. So that's going to complete the overnight or the pre-market session. As always, trade well, trade safe, and we'll catch you on the flip side.